Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of my game dev diary for my roguelike project. I have a wee bit of a croaky throat, so you'll have to bear with me, but we'll crack on with a bit more development. It's been brought to my attention by Evan C. Life in one of the previous episodes that once you bump into the stairs actually move with the character, so we don't want that to happen. So it's simply a matter of going to collision and a matter of going to physics and saying that the actor cannot move. So that means that when we bump into it with the player character, the stairs won't move. So thanks for bringing that to my attention, and as always, if you see anything with the game that I've maybe missed, please mention it in the comments so we can get the kind of bugs ironed out as quickly as possible. One more thing that I noticed actually myself was that the dungeons weren't quite creating the way I had figured them out to on paper. And that's because I've forgotten a little bit of code. What we kind of want to do then is also not, rather than here at the minute, this code really just develops the dungeons starting from left and then spawning rooms to the right, but we also want to spawn rooms from the top down. So I'm just going to write this extra bit of code here, hopefully not take too long, and then that will be the coding finished for the actual rooms of the dungeon, and then we can start with the code to actually populate the rooms with items, kind of like pots and chests, and then also monsters. So we will bang on with finishing off the code with the random dungeon generator. So what we want to do is, once this while loop is done, we want to repeat, I think it's 4 times. So we want to move from the top of the list down, and if there's a room above it, we want to think about maybe creating a room below it, just to kind of have a bit more interesting dungeon shapes. So we'll go for loop and put it in here and repeat 4 times. We want to say if, and it's probably going to be get item from dungeon list as if it's equal to 1. So copy this. Hate dragging these about sometimes, it never really goes into where you want it. And current loop number, that's +1. Is it +1 or is it -1? What do we want to do? We want to, if the first room, so it's current loop number +1. No, it's really -1 because you want to check the one above it. So what we want to do is do it 4 times and not do it on the first loop. So we'll not have the +1 yet, we need an otherwise. Repeat 4 times, and then if loop number is greater than 0, I'm going to remove this, put it in here. So if loop count is greater than 0, so I won't do it for the first time, I'll do it every time after the first time. If get loop, we need -1 because we need the one before it. So that needs to be as number. Don't know if you need all these as numbers, but it's just better to be safe rather than sorry. So get item current loop number as number -1 as number from dungeon list. If that's equal to 1, then we want to do the random number bit. copy, paste, set random number to float between that. If so, we don't need that, we need that. Then remove this. Remove. So if the current loop number is greater than the first loop, get item, look at the one above it. If it's equal to 1, then we'll set it quite high. We'll say 0.6. Replace current loop number with 1. That should work, I think. So I might give this a wee quick test just to see that it works, and if it is, then I can copy it down relatively quickly into the other lists. So we need to go to outside dungeon, and hopefully this time we'll see that the stairs don't move when we bump into them. And then we'll not run about the dungeon, we'll just look at the logs, and hopefully we'll see that the stairs, well, here don't move, which is true, and then that the second dungeon list has, hold on, did it work? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, yeah, 1, 2, 3, all the way there. Not sure if it did work, we'll try it one more time. Just want to check that it has the code's doing what I think it's doing before we move on to copy it all over the place, because then rather than changing it just to once, we have to change it a lot of times. So I just want to definitely make sure the code's doing what I think it's doing. So yeah, I think is it? Not quite sure. What we want to see here is a 1 where there isn't a 1 and the one before, if that makes any sense. Try it one more time, and if not, then definitely have a go back and look and see if the code's doing what I think it's doing. It's either a big coincidence or I've coded it wrong. So repeat 4 times. If current loop count, might put his number there. If it's greater than 0, so that means it shouldn't, because the loops normally start off at 0, so it should mean that after the first loop it should go in here. Current loop number has number minus 1 is number, so get that out from dungeon list 2. If it's equal to 1, I think that should be doing what I think it is. So we'll test it one more time. Outside dungeon 1. So because it should mean that we get a bit more interesting dungeon shapes, so it's rather than not always just going from left to right, that it sometimes they go from up to down too. And again, it's not doing it. I'm reluctant to copy it over, but I think I might, just to give it more of a chance to actually happen. I might print here, what I'll do is I'll add in print statements so we can see, just to see where exactly is going in the code. So repeat 4 times. So repeat, and we'll want the current loop count. And then we want print 5. We'll just print here so we know it's got to here. So that actually gives a bit more insight. So we'll test the scene and have a look, see what comes out in the logs, see if the print statements are telling us if it's getting to where we think it's getting to. Hold on, so it's 1, 2, 3. So what does that mean? So it never reached here, it didn't print here, so that means it never got the where it said here. So 1, 2, 3, so it printed here. It really should get to here at some stage, I think. If get item current loot number as number minus 1 as number from dungeon list as number. I'll print this, we'll copy this and put it here. I think this might turn out to be a very boring episode since we're just catching bugs and trying to write rather than making huge strides in development, but it's got to be done. So will you please go into that little box? There we go. We'll test it this time to see what is the deal. So we should get 2 numbers in a row. So, we got the here once. So it'll be 1, 1 here, 2, 0. So I think that might be working. I just that it's not getting over 0.6. Cool, I think that is working. So what we'll do is we'll just delete these print statements and then throw the code into the other loops for the other lists, and then hopefully that'll prove that it is working, and we'll get I'll get the effect that I want. So it's just this last little bit. Get rid of that. So if I can just copy this bit of code, please. Please. No. Why won't you let me copy it? I'm not going to copy you. I'm just going to leave you there. Come on, go up. So copy this, what's inside it, and then we'll just do the repeat 4 times. Loop. So repeat 4 times, and then paste this in. This time, rather than dungeon list 2, it should be dungeon list 3. So it's a matter of just going to the attributes, game attributes, and copying dungeon list 3 in. And then we do it for 4 and 5. And then that should be our dungeon creator process done, which I'm fairly happy with. It didn't take too long, and I think it'll make for some kind of at least variety in the gameplay, because you don't know what the dungeon will look like, so you don't know what's coming up next. So when I think to get into the there's going to be the first area where you go down the stairs and then you're into the random dungeon, and then what I'm thinking is that you have to do like kind of like well, it's almost like a fetch quest but puzzle type thing, so you're going to have to step on certain kind of like tiles in order in different rooms, and that'll allow you to get an item that allows you to get into the castle for the next bit of the game. So that's what I'm envisaging, and having a bit of randomness will mean that you don't know where to go each time. You don't know where to go to each time in the kind of like fetch quest / puzzle, so it should keep it interesting while you're trying to get better items for your character as well. So it should hopefully I'll add a good refreshing change, hopefully, from normal games. Although everybody seems to be making roguelikes at the minute, which is not a bad thing. They are good games. So did I mess up here? I think I did. I think that's meant to be Dungeon List 4. So I'll quickly... Nope. I'm being silly. That was meant to be Dungeon List 5. Dungeon List 5, Dungeon List 5, repeat 4 times. 4, 4, repeat 4 times. 3, 3, repeat 4 times. Cool, so we'll give this a wee test. So 1, 2, 3, 4 rooms, and then there's just 2 rooms, and there we go. There's 3 rooms in the third column, which wouldn't have been the case before. So I think that bit of code is working. We'll give it one more go just to make sure, and then I'll be happy that the dungeons are being created in the way that I kind of worked it out on a bit of paper. So that means that we can then, the next video, move on to populating the dungeon with. So that's 5, that's 1. Yeah, because there we go, look, that might be actually a good dungeon to explore, because I think if you go all the way to the right, then the whole 5th column should be able to go from the top all the way down to the bottom, which wouldn't have been the case before. So there we go. There's the dungeon. It's being created a bit more randomly and a bit more interestingly, I think. So I think the next bit of code is make sure that the character spawns in the right place when he enters the room, and also then start populating the rooms with enemies and items. Okay, thank you for watching. As always, if you have any comments for the game, please leave them in the comment section. Until next time, see ya.